Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear students, assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all and today lecture is the continuation of part first and second of Pak-India relations. And the first two parts we learned about the background and the seeds of conflict between both countries, and then the series of attacks and wars that happened. Uh, Today it is composed of negotiation and confidence building measures, the steps and the different steps that is being taken by both countries to building peace in the region. Uh, India and Pakistan remain locked in traditional Cold War concept of security and development, despite being ranked at 135 and 134 respectively out of 173 countries listed in the United Nations Human Development Index. In the Human Development Index, Pakistan, India, they are spending heavily on defense on defense budget. India and Pakistan continue to direct their resources towards non-developmental expenditures. In this scenario, the implementation of confidence-building measures is extremely necessary for the development of these two states and for South Asian as a whole. It is very important to bring peace and harmony between both countries. This will not only bring peace in this region but in South Asia as a whole. So first of all, let's know that what is confidence building measures. Confidence building measures are those steps or agreements on which the states agree with mutual benefits in mind, and states have paid that such agreement should be obeyed by all concerned. It could increase diverse arrangements such as hotlines, people-to-people exchanges, and prior notification of military exercises that can help reduce tension and promote good neighborly relations. These steps or agreements ultimately develop trust between the states and help in having peace and stability in the regions. These agreements, these are fairly before wars and tensions. So for building peace in the regions. After the attacks, after the nuclear tests in 1998, the relationship between Pakistan and India became more volatile. The nuclear test finally demonstrated the highest cost of any future conflict between two neighbors, whose past already reflects three majors and two less widespread wars. In the future, conflict is more than likely to stem from the differences over Kashmir, an area claimed by both sides. Furthermore, the likelihood of war increases if one adds the misunderstanding, the missed signals, and the involvement of non-state elements to the scenario of confrontation. In other words, there is no dearth of reasons why India and Pakistan might go to war. Thus, the urgent requirement of enforcing the existing CBM's confidence building measures and devising new CBMs, ultimately leading to peace and stability of the region. These are very important, and these must be implemented. But India and Pakistan all the time they violated their CBMs, their confidence building measures. After agreements, they violated that agreement. So many accords, many agreements happened between both countries, but they are violating it constantly. Look, after the 1971 war, Pakistan, look at the slide. After the 1971 war, Pakistan and India made slow progress towards the normalization of relations. In July 1972, Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Pakistani President Zulfikar Ali Bhutto met in Shimla. They signed the Shimla Agreements which India would return all Pakistani by which India would return all Pakistani prisoners. These prisoners were more than 90,000 and captured territory in the west. And the two countries would settle their differences by peaceful means through bilateral negotiation. Diplomatic and trade relations were also re-established in 1976. They made agreement. They met in Shimla. They signed the agreement in which they released the Pakistani prisoner in exchange to to the land and to the territory in the west. Thereby, uh, they also made an agreement that both the country would solve their disputes, both the country would solve their differences by mutual agreement and by sitting for negotiation. 1990 decade. In 1997, high-level Indo-Pak talks resumed after a 3-year pause. The Prime Minister of Pakistan and India met twice, and the foreign secretaries conducted 3 rounds of talks. In June 1997, the foreign secretaries identified 8 outstanding issues around which, around which continuing talks would be focused. The conflict over the status of Kashmir and in issues since independence remains the major stumbling block in their dialogues. India maintains that the entire former princely state is an integral part of the Indian Union, while Pakistan insists that UN resolution calling for self-determination of the people of the state province must be taken into account. It, however, refuses to abide by the previous part of the resolution, which called for it to vacate all territories occupied. Uh, in the previous part, we discussed that the only stumbling block between the Pak-India relations as the Kashmir. Whenever they sit for talk, whenever they sit for negotiation, then when they come to the issue, to the agenda of Kashmir, so then they stop. None of the country, they are ready to they are ready to leave Kashmir. The Indian claim it a princely state and consider it the part of India, while Pakistan accepts the UN the UN while Pakistan claims that the issue of Kashmir must be solved uh, according to the rights of Kashmiris, as UN have given them the right of self-representation. Furthermore, in 19 in September 1997, the talks broke down over the structure of how to deal with the issues of Kashmir and peace and security. Pakistan advocated that the issue be treated by separate working groups. India responded that the two issues be taken up along with six other on a simultaneous basis. Attempts to restart dialogue between the two nations were given a major boost by the February 1999 meeting of both Prime Minister in Lahore and their signing of three agreements here. And this time there was a political system in Pakistan. So the political leadership in the time of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, so they signed three agreements with Indian Prime Minister. A subsequent military coup in Pakistan. So unfortunately, unluckily, what happens in Pakistan? There comes a military dictatorship. So a subsequent military happened in Pakistan. So that overturned the democratically elected Nawaz Sharif government in October of the same year, also proved a setback to relations. This coup gave Pakistan mm, a very tough time because for the world countries, the neighbor countries, they are not ready to talk with military leadership. In the decade of 2000, in 2001, a summit was called in Agra. Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf turned up to meet Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihar Vajpayee. On 20 June 2004, with a new government in place in India, both countries agreed to extend a nuclear testing ban and to set up a hotline between their foreign secretaries aimed at preventing misunderstanding that might lead to a nuclear war. Here, they banned as both the countries were powerful now, both were nuclear powers, so they signed an agreement that they banned nuclear test. And further, they also tried to prevent or eliminate the misunderstanding, the misconception between the two countries that might lead to a nuclear war. Then both India and Pakistan have launched several mutual confidence building measures to ease tension between the two countries. Some improvements in relations are seen with reopening uh, confidence building measures to ease tension between the two. These include more higher level talks, easing visa restrictions, and restarting of cricket matches between the two. The new bus service between Srinagar and Muzaffarabad has also helped bring the two sides closer. Pakistan and India have also decided to cooperate on economic fronts. Several CBMs were taken this time, and these CBMs include removing visa restriction so that the citizens of both countries can move uh, to their respective countries easily. Some improvements in these relations are seen with the reopening of a series of transportation networks near the India Pakistan borders, with most important being bus routes and railway links in the Samjhota Express, and all these were but um, activities happened. Help and need. Both the countries helped each other in disasters and natural disasters. When earthquake happens in 2001 in India, in response to that 2001 Gujarat earthquake, Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf sent a plane load of relief supplies from Islamabad to Ahmedabad. They carried they carried 200 tents and more than 2,000 blankets. Furthermore, the president called Indian Prime Minister to express his sympathy over the loss from the earthquake. And then, in response, when the earthquake happened in Pakistan in 2005, India offered generous aid to Pakistan in response to 2005 Kashmir earthquake on 8 October. A senior Air Force officer also stated that they had been asked by the Indian government to be ready to fly without another similar consignment. On 14 October, India dispatched 2005 earthquake in Pakistan. India offered generous aid to Pakistan in response to 2005 Kashmir earthquake on 8 October. India, Indian and Pakistani High Commissioner consulted with one another regarding cooperation in relief work. India sent 25 tons of relief material to Pakistan, including food, blankets, and medicine. Large uh, large Indian companies such as Infosys offered at up to 2,26,000 US dollars. A senior Air Force official also stated that they had been asked by the Indian government to be ready to fly out another similar consignment. On 14 October, India dispatched the second consignment of relief material to Pakistan by train through the Wagah border. The consignment included 5,000 blankets, 370 tents, 5 tons of plastic sheets, and 12 tons of medicine. A third consignment of medicine and relief material was also sent shortly afterwards by train. India also pledged $25 million as aid to Pakistan. India opened the first of 3 points of different on different points like on LOC between Pakistan and India for the 2005 Kashmir earthquake relief work. Rediff, such generous gestures signal a new era of confidence, friendliness, and cooperation uh, between both countries. Particularly, northern India and eastern Pakistan, to some degree, have similar culture, cuisine, and languages. Pakistani singers here, musicians, comedians, and entertainers have enjoyed widespread popularity in India, with many achieving an overnight fame in the Indian film industry, Bollywood. Likewise, Indian music and film are very popular in Pakistan. The Punjab region was split into Punjab, Pakistan, and Punjab, India, following the independence and partition of the two countries in 1947. The Punjabi people are today the largest ethnic group in Pakistan and also an important ethnic group of northern India. The founder of Sikhism was born in modern-day Pakistani Punjab province in the city of Nankana Sahib. Each year, millions of Indian Sikh pilgrims cross over to visit the holy Sikh site in Nankana Sahib. The Sindhi people are the native ethnic group of the Pakistani province of Sindh. Many Hindu Sindhis migrated to India in 1947, making the country home to a sizable Sindhi community. In addition, the millions of Muslims who migrated from India to the newly created Pakistan during independence came to be known as the Muhajir people. They are settled predominantly in Karachi and still maintain family links in India. Uh, Currently, if you see to the so these things, these CBM, these confidence building measures, these are bringing the two countries together. Relations between Pakistan and India have also resumed through platforms such as media and communications. Media and communication, they are playing a great role. Most of the Indian movies and films are watched in Pakistan. The heroes, the different anchors, the different programs, the comedy, the comic programs are watched in Pakistan. So Aman Kiyasha is a joint venture in campaign between the Times of India and the Young Group calling for mutual peace and development of diplomatic and cultural relations. The Indo-Pak Pakistani border is the Indo-Pak Pakistani border is the official international boundary that demarcates the Indian uh, states of Punjab, Rajasthan, and Gujarat from the Pakistani provinces of Punjab and Sindh. The Wagah border is the only road crossing between India and Pakistan and lies on the famous Grand Trunk Road (GT Road), connecting Lahore, Pakistan with Amritsar, India. Each evening, the Wagah border ceremony takes place at the Wagah border, in which flags are lowered and guards on both sides make a pompous military display and exchange her handshakes. Matrimonial ties, marital ties between the two countries. So some Indian and Pakistani people marry across the borders at instances. Many Indians and Pakistani and the diaspora and the outer community and foreign countries similarity in their culture because of belongingness to the same region. So they are doing marriages outside in United States and other countries. They are intermarrying with each other as there are large cultural similarities between the two countries respectively. In the same way, sporting ties between the two countries. Both countries, they are great fans of cricket. Cricket and hockey matches between the two have often been between the two as well as other sports to a lesser degree, such as those of the SARC games, have often been political in nature. During the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, General Ziaul Haq traveled to India for about uh, of cricket diplomacy to keep India from supporting the Soviets by opening another front. Pervez Musharraf also tried to do the same more than but a decade later, but to no avail. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. If you have any query, if you have any questions, clarification, confusion, so ask question in your WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. Stay healthy and stay blessed.